Happy Friday, everyone. This is Eve, and we're at the Greener Village's Learning Kitchen, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make barley risotto. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by mincing some garlic. So the easiest way to peel garlic is just to smack it like I did, and then the skin should just peel right off like that. There might be some stragglers, but that's okay. You just pick it off. And then it's nice and flat, and then all we're going to do is just mince it up. So slice it up real fine. I mean, it's about as fine as you want. I don't mind a rougher chop. Makes it really rustic. And there we go. Move that off to the side. And then we're going to dice an onion. So Tony, this is for you. You've been wondering how to dice an onion, and you've been asking me when I'm going to do it. So watch closely, and I'll show you how. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the tip off here of the onion, move that to the side. Now you're not going to take the complete root off. You're just going to take the hairs off, like that, keeping the root intact. And then we'll slice it down the middle. And then we're simply just going to peel the paper part off the onion right here, just like that. And like that. And then all we're going to do is you're going to run your knife down like that, but not all the way through, just to the end of the root, just like that. So you'll get kind of a fanned section like this. Now, some people will run their knife across one more time like that. I think it's a useless step, but it gives you a finer diced onion. And all you do is run your knife across like that, and then you have yourself a nice diced onion. We keep the roots and all that stem for stock. So speaking of stock, today we're going to be using that stock that I made last week to make this wonderful risotto. It's nice and rich. There we go. And tasty, and with that hot pepper in it, just added a little bit of heat, but not too spicy. Just enough to warm it up. Okay, there we go. So, to this pot that I've got preheated, always remember to work with a hot skillet or pot. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, get that nice and hot. To that we're going to add our onions. See how it's hot? You can hear it sizzle. I don't know if you can hear it sizzle on your end, but I can. There we go. We'll add our garlic, and we are going to sweat this down. I'm going to put a little bit of color into it because I want to caramelize everything and give this barley risotto a nice, full, rounded flavor. Okay, so we're making barley risotto today. You can use arborio rice to make risotto, but if you want a healthier version, I guess, you can use risotto. Risotto is higher in fiber, higher in protein than rice.
Barley?
Barley, sorry. Barley is higher in protein, and it's also higher in fiber than rice. You may be wondering what the difference between a pot barley and a pearl barley. You'll see those different packages together. So think of it as the pearl barley has been husked and then polished. Pearl. It's got less nutritional value than your pot barley that's just been husked and it hasn't been polished, or nothing else has been done to it. So it might take a little bit longer to cook than the pearl barley, but it'll definitely add better nutritional value than the pearl barley will. So I've got the color I want on my onions right now. I'm just going to add some mushrooms to this because I like mushroom risotto. Now barley works great as well if you're going to, this time of year there's a lot of game. For those of you who bagged your moose and you're looking for something to accompany it, it's fantastic. Nice barley risotto with your moose or your venison or your partridge or rabbit, any kind of game. Really, really like it. So at this point right here, I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of barley. Like rice, I rinse it off first to get all the old dust and then pick out all the things. So when you soak it, all the bad rice or all the bad barley will float to the top, and then you'll discard that, and then you'll just put that in there. And what we're going to want to do as well is we're going to want to toast our barley for a few minutes, just to bring out the nuttier flavor and kind of crack the barley a little bit. That way it'll absorb our chicken stock a little bit quicker. Alright. So, when you're making risotto, be it barley or be it a regular Italian risotto, you're always going to want to warm up your stock ahead of time. Okay? So, our lovely stock here that's nice and warm, and after our risotto our barley has toasted a little bit, we're just going to add a few ladles of stock and constantly mix the liquid. So what this is doing is it's slowly pulling out the starches, which is what makes risotto nice and creamy. It's not the fact that you're adding cheese or cream to finish this dish. It's the fact that we're slowly extracting the starches as it cooks. So you're slowly going to stir it until all the liquid is absorbed. We're going to turn that down, turn this up. And then once the liquid is absorbed, we're just going to add more until we reach the desired doneness of your barley. So you're looking for something that's al dente, which is firm to the bite yet still chewy. Now doing it in a larger skillet, it will allow this to absorb a lot quicker and cook a lot quicker. You can do it in a pot that size, but I always like to do it in something about this big. That way I can really get this stirred around. So add a little bit more. That. And remember, you kind of have to babysit this. You can let it go for a couple minutes, but what we're really trying to do is really develop the starches to pull out of this barley to make it nice and creamy. Now at this point right here, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of dried thyme. I usually like to use fresh thyme, but I don't have any right now. But dried thyme works just as well. But I want to add it at this point because I want it to soften up. I don't want to taste any of those little needles or sticks that dry herbs tend to give you, and then it'll be able to permeate through. Now, if you want to, you can also add your herbs and your seasoning to your stock. That way, all you'll have is your onions and your garlic and your mushrooms in here, and all the flavor will be in your stock. I like the sound that it makes too. See, now we see it's starting to thicken up. You can put anything you really want in your risotto. Today I'm using mushrooms, but you can use asparagus, any type of vegetables. Peppers lend itself well to this. But if you're sticking to the wild game theme, or thinking of New Brunswick, we can fire some fiddleheads in here, some nice fresh asparagus, make it really nice. I enjoy barley risotto with beef the most. This is the first time I tried it. It was a nice blue cheese risotto, barley risotto. I believe it was in culinary school. There we go. Seeing how it's starting to get nice and thick now. Add a little more. And keep going. I've got a cup and a half of barley to probably about a liter of stock, give or take. But you only use as much stock as you need until it's done. So we may need that whole thing. We may not. We'll see. Is there any questions, Sean?
Nope. Nathaniel LeBlanc says, looks good.
Looks good. Well, thanks, Nate. Now, while this is simmering a little bit, what we'll do to finish it is we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. I've got goat's cheese here because I've got it, and why not use it? And it'll be really, really nice. You can also add a nice blue cheese. Blue cheese and mushrooms would go fantastic, especially with venison or a nice piece of beef. You can add rosemary to it if you're going to serve it with chicken. Maybe a little sage, so summer savory. Let's taste this here to see how far we are along. We're almost there. I don't know, 2-3 more minutes.
Cheryl Anderson Jones says, it does look good. I wish I could smell it too and taste. Tell Eve I said hi.
That's it, Cheryl. We're gonna have to invent smell-o-vision, or as soon as this pandemic is over, and I can start having people in class, then everyone's more than welcome to come in and join, and then we'll do our Fridays in front of a live studio audience as well. There we go. It's getting nice and thick again. A little more.
Cheryl said she'd love that.
Yeah. So I'm also going to season my barley risotto with a few things that I've made over the summer that I'm pretty proud of. So we're going to put a little bit of this smoked green onion powder that I made a few months back. I took some of the green onions that we grew in the garden and I smoked them over some maple chips, and then I dehydrated them, and then I pulsed them in a spice grinder to create this lovely dusting powder that is so nice. So much nicer than the onion powder that you buy at the store. Really simple to make, really easy to make. And I'm also going to use this umami powder that I made as well. So a few months back I made a mushroom ketchup. So it's not like the ketchup that you would think, the Heinz tomato ketchup. The ketchup is more like a Worcester sauce or not a Tabasco, but a soya sauce. So it's really nice with mushrooms and all kinds of different herbs. And what I did was after I made the sauce, there was a lot of mushrooms and stuff on the bottom. So I took that and I smoked them as well. And then I dehydrated the mix and I... this is going to add so much umami to this. It's going to be great. So umami flavor, for those who don't know, is kind of like that. I mean, the easiest way to explain it is the MSG that you put in Chinese food gives it that thick, rich, unctuous taste. That kind of, it's like a mouthfeel. That's what umami is. So MSG is kind of bad for you. So There's a lot of natural recurring things, like mushrooms, for example, that create a lot of umami. It's a nice earthy, rich flavor. So, make this mushroom barley risotto even more packed with flavor. I'll add some of that powder. I also use a little bit in my stock to flavor it as well.
Nathaniel says, so in your opinion, is barley better for you than rice?
In my opinion, I think it is. I did a little bit of research beforehand, and yeah, there's more fiber in it. It's higher packed in protein, and it also helps you lower your blood sugars, and it's good to, and it's also known to help reduce cholesterol. So it's kind of like eating oatmeal every day. Helps people lose weight, helps with their metabolism. Barley will do the same thing. I'm not saying go out and have yourself a bowl of barley risotto every day, but if you're choosing a healthier option, or if you're looking to pack in proteins because you're looking at eating less meat and things like that, but you're still looking to get that protein that you need, your body needs, then this is definitely an option.
It's certainly better than just white rice.
Definitely just better than white rice or your minute rice or anything like that. Okay. So I think that's all the stock we need. I'm going to taste this again. You're also going to notice that I've been taking spoons out of this jar. When you're tasting things, unless you're cooking it at home and you're cooking it for yourself, you don't want to double dip your spoon. So if you're cooking for others, you always want to make sure that you're always using a clean spoon. I mean, you could do that, or preferably you should always take the serving spoon or the spoon you're using to stir and put it on the utensil that you're going to put into your mouth. That's just about there. Oh, it's good. So good, and we're not even finished yet. I just need a couple more minutes. I'm just going to move these into the sink. Let the rest of this pot liquor evaporate. This time here I'm going to season it a little bit of salt. Doesn't need much salt. That umami powder that I have sure gives it what it needs. A little bit of pepper, about a teaspoon. A little more thyme.
Good.
It does. It looks fantastic. We're not done yet.
Can you make this without stock?
You can make it with water if you'd like. You can also use. I use a watered down apple juice. It makes it a little bit sweeter. If you use full on apple juice, I think it would be way too sweet of an application. But yeah, if you don't have stock, water is your best option. Just make sure that you pack it full of flavor with your seasonings.
Nathaniel says, how long can you let it sit before it burns?
You should just keep it moving, Nate. Probably about 2 or 3 minutes, but I wouldn't risk that chance. It's again, like I said, risotto is one of those dishes where you've kind of got to babysit it, or have it close by, so you're stirring it every 2 or 3 minutes. Not like I am all the time, but all the time this way will develop this nice creaminess that you're seeing right now. So that's about ready right now. So now I'm going to start adding my Parmesan cheese and, let's say half the log of this lovely goat's cheese.
Cheryl's mouth is watering.
There we go. And then right now I'm just going to cut the heat. Get that stir right in. Yeah, I wish you guys could smell it. It's smelling fantastic right now. So there you go, guys. We have a lovely barley risotto. Ooh, and I also forgot. My bad. We're just going to add this right back here. You add a little bit of lemon juice. And why lemon juice? It's just going to brighten all these flavors up and just kind of make them a little less muted. All right, let's try that again. Lovely barley risotto. I'm just going to garnish with a little more green onion dust. And there we go. Beautiful. There you go, guys. Tune in with me next week when I'm going to show you guys how to fillet fish. We just got in a bunch of trout here at the Greener Village, which I'm super excited about. So we'll show you how to fillet some fish next week. So I'll see you next Friday. Thank you.